everyone, I'm Carmen. I'm an intern at Empowered and Poised, and today I wanted to share with you a tomato sauce and pasta recipe that I know. So when I taste it, I think it's really fresh and it just tastes really healthy, which it is healthy. So I thought I would just share this recipe with you all today. So first I'll show you all the ingredients. So what you need are cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes, whatever you want. I didn't even know grape tomatoes were a thing until today. So you're gonna need about 1.5 cups of grape tomatoes. And then Italian seasoning and salt, you're kind of just gonna add these as much as you want, but at least a pinch of both. And then you're gonna choose whatever pasta you want. These are the shells. I think we're also gonna mix in some spaghetti, just because I like to mix some pastas together. And then you're also gonna want some basil if you wanna add more flavoring. I love how Giant Eagle sells these. They're in the little pots. I think it's so cute and it smells so good. And then you're gonna need some olive oil. Again, it's not a specific measurement, but just enough to saute your garlic. And then we're also gonna need Chardonnay. Again, this is about 1/2 cup, but it's kind of just like a splash of wine. And then you're gonna need 3 cloves of garlic. I already have some sauteing at the moment, but you're gonna need 3 cloves of garlic, and I'll show you how I did this. So the first thing you wanna do is add olive oil, and I'll show you how much I added. It's kind of just a puddle in there, just like as much as you need. It'll pretty much almost fill the surface of the pan, but not quite. So if you have one of these garlic crushers, garlic press, that's what it's called. If you have one of these, that's really convenient because you can just press it right into the pan. But if you don't, that's totally fine. You can peel them and use a knife, and that's just as effective. So I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna put my last clove of garlic in there. Just gonna throw that in there. If you're using one of these, just scrape off the excess with a fork. Make sure it all gets in there. And then we're just gonna get rid of the excess over here. All right, so now we're just gonna saute the garlic until it's like clear. We don't want it to be brown because that will be more like a burnt flavor that we don't want. So we're just gonna saute that really quick. I think I'm gonna turn on the water now, just so it boils by the time we wanna get the water out. And I'm just gonna turn that on. So that's gonna boil. All right, the next step, we're gonna add the salt and Italian seasoning. So I'll bring this over here, show you this. Okay, so again, for the salt, it's kind of just a pinch. It's whatever you prefer. If you want more of a flavor, that's fine. I'm just gonna add a little pinch of salt, maybe a little more. We'll do a little more. Okay. And then same with the Italian seasoning, you're just gonna sprinkle some. I'll just go like 1 circle around the pan. So that's good. So this is what it looks like right now. We're just gonna keep sauteing that garlic. So we're gonna put these back over here. And then we are gonna add the Chardonnay. So again, that's 1/2 cup of Chardonnay. If you don't want that much, that's totally fine. It depends on how much wine flavoring you want in there. I just think 1/2 cup works really well with this recipe. So there we go. All right, so the wine is in. Just gonna mix that around a little bit. Turn this up. Ooh, it smells like wine. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Wine and garlic, can't go wrong. All right. So now that's all mixed around. And then the next step is to puree the tomatoes. So if you're like me, you have one of these fancy pureers. This, I'm not exactly sure where it's from, but it's a little pulser. So if you put tomatoes or anything in here, it'll just puree it. So this is gonna make it easier. However, if you have tomatoes and you just want to chop them up with your knife, that's totally fine too. A knife is going to be just as effective. And I'm not going to totally puree it. I'm going to kind of make it chunky because I like that texture in the sauce. So you can cut up your tomatoes as small or as big as you want. That's totally up to your preference. So I'm gonna use this thing, bring you guys over here. Sorry, there's so much movement going on. Just gotta show you all of what's going on. So we're gonna add, so this container is 1.5 cups, so that's how I know how much I need. So I'm gonna add these in here. And again, I'm gonna pulse until they're done in my opinion, but again, you can pick whatever texture you want. More chunky, less chunky, more of a puree. Like you could make it really liquidy if you want. That is 100% up to you. So I'm gonna put this lid on, it is plugged in, and then this might get a little loud, so I'm warning your ears. Okay. So now I'm just gonna push this button so I can puree them. Oh, didn't work. Did not work. There we go. It's really nifty. I mean, it's so easy to use. So a little more. I think that's good. We got some chunks in there. Yeah, that's good. So now we're just gonna add this in with our wine and garlic and oil and seasoning going on here. So this is gonna complete the sauce. And then we're just gonna wait for the pasta to boil, and that's about it. So I'm adding the tomatoes right now. Little blade came out. So adding these, and again, you can add more tomatoes, less tomatoes. You can you can change the texture. You can do whatever you like. All right, getting the last little scoop in there. All right, so I will show you what it looks like now. So at this point, all of it is getting mixed together. It smells really good. I wish you guys could smell it, but I guess you'll just have to make it so you can smell it too. So just make sure everything gets all mixed in. And it's looking good. So at this point, we're gonna leave this on the stove, just on low so it stays warm. And then I'm going to put the pasta in. The water that's gonna boil is not quite boiling yet, so that's why we have to wait. So in the meantime, I should also explain. So when we strain, I don't know what just happened. When we strain the pasta later, I'll say this again later, but we just have to make sure that we keep some of the moisture in the pasta when we strain it, because it just gives it obviously more moisture and it just makes it less dry. So I think, so the water is not quite boiled yet, but I will let you guys know when I strain the pasta, and then it'll be ready to put in the sauce. You guys, I almost forgot one of my favorite parts, the basil. So again, get this at Giant Eagle if you want it in a little pot. It's so cute. When I saw this at the store, I was like, oh my goodness, I have to get it. Because I couldn't find any prepackaged stuff, and then I saw this and I was like, oh, so cute. So I don't really know exactly how much I'm gonna add, maybe just like a few leaves, but basil is good with everything, so you really can't mess it up. And who doesn't love basil? So we're just gonna add a little bit more. I'll just show you what it looks like now, just for a visual. So it's beautiful and tomatoey, and we got that basil in there, so now we got those little accents of green, which is always great. I'm gonna add one more leaf because I love basil, if you haven't gotten that by now. Okay, so the water is boiling. I will boil the pasta now, but you all know how to boil pasta in water. So I will come back when I strain the pasta. So after I mixed in the pasta with the sauce, I put it on a plate, and here is the end result. You guys, it smells so good, and I really hope you make this dish because I just want you to experience that smell. It smells like garlic and tomatoes and basil and wine. Oh, it's so good, and I can't wait to eat it. I just wanted to thank you all for watching this video today. I hope you enjoy this recipe. If you do, DM us on any of our social platforms. Let me know how you like it or what you thought of the recipe. And make sure you follow along with all the other interns who share their recipes as well. Thanks for watching.